Hello there, welcome back to my views and news. Viewers, some Amhara groups, Amhara organizations are working on a strategy to get support from Tigray, or you can say they're working on a strategy to create splits in Tigray. We got in touch with a few people who know what is happening. They are in touch with those individuals and those organizations who have this agenda. The agenda was finalized after some discussions. It's not that an activist is sharing posts with this agenda. No, it is a plan which was formed after discussion. Some people, some groups are working on it. Before having a look at this development, before sharing detail with you of this plan, let me start from what Tigray did. When TPLF was in power in EPRDF, back then, if you remember, Amhara groups used to accuse TPLF. The TPLF was fanning conflicts in the Amhara region, that Agos, Kemats were backed by TPLF. The TPLF wanted to keep Amhara region split, and Kemats have been fighting Amhara forces for some time. And in the 2-year-long war, we saw that Tigray backed the formation of Ago Liberation Front. It was mainly TDF which was behind the formation of Ago Liberation Front. Ago Liberation Front wanted to establish a separate Ago regional state, split with Amhara regional state. It had announced that Lalibela would be the capital of Ago regional state. ALF had hundreds of armed members. TDF members trained Ago Liberation Front members. Then Tigray forces had to withdraw. After suffering losses in 2021, TDF had to retreat from Amhara region. ALF was left on its own, but some ALF leaders went to Tigray. They are still based in Tigray. So Tigray definitely tried to create new armed factions in the Amhara region in 2021. But we must not forget that before that, Amhara forces, Amhara militias, they supported Ethiopian National Defense Force in the war on Tigray. Other regional forces became involved at a later stage. But Amhara forces, Amhara militia members, Afar forces, from day one, since the start of the war in November 2020, they were part of the war. So, Amhara forces wanted to retake Raya Volkai. They wanted to make TPLF weak, irrelevant politically in Ethiopia. That is why they became part of the war. Then it was Tigray's turn. When Tigray forces entered Amhara region, they backed formation of new groups like Ago Liberation Front, and Kemets also asserted themselves. When Tigray fighters were trying to move towards Gondar from Mediarke towards the Bark, we saw clashes near Gondar between Kemets and Amhara forces and Amhara locals. Kemets based in Sudan too, they tried to take advantage of the situation, but ENDF and local Amharas, they did not allow Kemets to be a major threat. So, Tigray forces tried their best to create splits in the Amhara region. They could not. Now, it's Amhara's turn. Amhara's turn to get support from Tigray or to create splits in Tigray. We have seen formation of two parties so far formed after the signing of Pretoria deal. Two parties formed in Tigray, applied for registration. The parties want to contest elections. One party has Anderta in its name. The other party has Tambian in its name. The two parties, who is backing them, we don't know. maybe Addis Ababa, maybe Bahirdar, maybe some Amhara hardliners, but an attempt was made to form parties, political parties in Tigray along ethnic lines to create splits within TPLF, within Tigray. Now, a new strategy. We know that Fano fighters are now taking control of territories. They are successfully creating lawlessness in the Amhara region. Region is being destabilized. But outstanding issues between Tigray and Amhara are unresolved. Issues regarding future status of Raya and Volkayet. Fano has no support from Tigray. It has no allies so far, by the way, in Ethiopia. It is trying to get allies. It has no allies from Tigray too, obviously. Rather, it sees Tigray as a major rival, because both regions, both zones are, they have claims to Raya and Volkayet. Now, some Amhara diaspora groups, they sat and they finalized a strategy. They discussed how to woo the disgruntled elements, how to approach disgruntled elements in Tigray, how to get their support. The purpose is to create splits in Tigray. Discussions were held, and after discussion, it is finalized after discussions that people, leaders, groups in Tigray which believe that they are marginalized should be contacted. Like Agos complain, they are marginalized in Amhara, that their identity is not being allowed to be expressed. Same is the case to some extent in Tigray too. There are differences in Tigray. Even within Tigray, people say that TPLF leaders of Adwa are seen as superiors to TPLF leaders of Enderta and others. There are problems, but not very significant and visible ones. Now, Amhara hardliners want to exploit the internal situation in Tigray. They know that Tigray is in a volatile situation. People are frustrated, they don't have enough food to survive on. TDF fighters just protested on just 2 days ago. Thousands of TDF fighters, they protested in Makale. And IDPs in Tigray, no schedule about the return. So a lot is happening in Tigray. A lot needs to be done. But Tigray interim government is crippled. It is facing shortage of funds. It means there is resentment, there is frustration in Tigray. This resentment, this frustration can be used against ruling class, against ruling elite. So that is why these Amhara diaspora organizations have decided to contact people and leaders of Enderta, southern zone, northeastern zone, I think they're called Agames, Tambian people, and relations will be strengthened through different means. Amhara diaspora members will try to get in touch with disgruntled elements in Tambian, northeastern Tigray, southern Tigray. And they'll try to spread a propaganda that ruling elite in Tigray is in control of resources, that Tambian is neglected, that Enderta is neglected, that only Agames, Adwa clan is in charge. Others are being marginalized. What is the objective? What is the purpose behind this attempt by Amhara groups to create splits in Tigray. Two objectives. First is that Fano wants some support from Tigray. It does not want Tigray to be united. Why? Because a united Tigray could be a threat to Fano. Fano does not want to make any compromise on Volkayt and Raya, especially on Volkayt. While thousands of Tigray fighters are deployed along Tigray River, it means that any time there could be resurgence of violence. Before that, Amhara hardliners want some allies in Tigray which they could use against TPLF-led interim government of Getachew. Secondly, they want to weaken Tigray's struggle for Volkayt and Raya. A united Tigray will be more assertive. A united Tigray will not make any compromises regarding the status of Raya Volkayt. That is why this strategy has been discussed and finalized. So we could see the Amhara groups and individuals reach out to the people of Tigray in different ways. You could see deliver humanitarian aid to the people. You could see families of those living in Anderta and Tambian who are abroad or who are IDPs in Sudan, they could be contacted to. Somehow these Amhara diaspora groups want to gain access to the disgruntled elements in Tigray through aid, through third parties. That remains to be seen how they will achieve their objectives. But they have finalized this plan. Can this strategy work? Well, Tigray fighters were in Amhara region. We saw that. And they tried to form alliance. They tried to create new groups in Amhara region. That strategy did not work. ALF is nowhere to be seen in Amhara region now. Where is ALF now? Where is ALF leadership? Tigray had military on Amhara soil. Still, it could not create splits. Yes, a group was formed, but that group vanished when Tigray forces retreated from Amhara. Tigray now is under very tight control of Tigray Defense Force and TPLF's interim government. It's difficult for Amhara regional government, Amhara hardliners, Eritrean government, even Addis Ababa to create splits in Tigray. Tigray fought in the 2-year-long war. Tigray sacrificed. Tens of thousands lost their lives. Still, we cannot say that there are serious splits. Yes, there are problems. There is difference of opinion. Yes, there is some resentment, but it's not that there are very serious disputes, disagreements which could be a threat to the unity of Tigray. So that is why too early to say, but since we got information from some groups were based abroad mainly, that they are working on this strategy, that is why we are sharing it with you. I have been saying that there cannot be peace in Ethiopia until there is direct dialogue between Tigray and Amhara. There cannot be peace in the Horn of Africa until there is direct dialogue between Tigray and Eritrea through Addis Ababa. Again, I would say the same. If there is no peaceful solution to Raya Volkayt, there will always be tension between Tigray and Amhara in one or the other form. Both will try to destabilize each other's regions. Thank you for watching.